But you know who my boy is. Foogie! Hey, they call him Foo, but he ain't no fool. Boy, I mess with Foogie.
Foogie.
My homie Glenn put me on Foogie. And he put me on Foogie, and I've been on him ever since.
Welcome to the rundown, y'all. Episode 26.
This ain't the rundown. We already did the rundown. It happens.
Yeah, I know it happens. Welcome to the Presidential Executive Podcast, episode 26, y'all.
Hey, this is a live blooper.
Bruh.
Don't edit it out.
Look, I'm not going to edit that out at all. Look, we're just talking. We coming out with content every 3 or 4 days. You know what I'm saying? The wife was telling me about, what y'all were talking about last week. I was like, what were we talking about? What we say? I'm like, we keep bringing it out. So I'm like, I forget certain stuff that we talk about because it's like, maybe I'm thinking about episode 23, but she talking about 25. But, it's like every 3 or 4 days we bringing out stuff. So it's different. So, cool. Y'all know what to do, what we doing. Yeah. So, yeah. So, again, y'all, come on. Subscribe, like, share Presidential Executive Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Yep, and the page on YouTube is actually you're subscribing to JBTV, the executive, but the actual title is the Presidential Executive Podcast. So if you type in Presidential Executive Podcast, it'll take you to JBTV. Subscribe. And then you can go from there. You'll get all our content and videos, rundowns, like, share, you know what I'm saying? Again, if you got comments, leave, we don't block comments, be respectable or disrespectful, like we'll read them. Now, whether or not we care is something totally different, but we'll read them. If you got topics maybe that we haven't addressed, leave it. We'll consider it. Want to give a shout out, cause in the rundown, my homeboy sent us some clips, that we went and researched and looked up. So shout out to my homie Jay at Mystery84.
Yes, sir.
On the IG. And I believe it's the same on Twitter as well. And you all will be able to see his info down at the bottom. But the reason I'm giving him a plug is not just for that. He does give a lot of knowledge and information, but him and another one of our homeboys, they have a credit repair business, and it's www.sapience.biz. And it's some stuff in my own personal life. Like I could pick up the phone, hit him up, and he'll give me the real, tell me how to, get my student loans down, how to get the credit score up. He'll give you consultations, the whole 9 yards. So it's www.sapience.biz. You can get with him. He'll give you like a business plan on how to budget your money, how to save, all of that,
Okay. You're going to have to text me information so I can post that.
And it's Sapience, SAPIENCE, not .com, .biz, sapience.biz. But yeah, so he's like my personal financial guru that I call when I have financial crises on how to get myself out of these holes. Most of the time it's like you need to pay these niggas back, but
right.
He gonna give me that real. And so, but then he also posts like a lot of stuff like, where we were quoting Riza Islam and just different, like he actually posts the sites and stuff with the information on it as well.
So you can verify.
Yeah. And also, man, shout out, in the comment section, man, I want to give a shout out. If you ain't checked my boy, Young D out, man, he got music out all over, man, on Spotify, on Apple Music, on Tidal. Like, go check out Young D.
Yeah.
Man, known him for a minute. Man, since we was kids.
Yeah.
But I ain't saying this because I know, like, he bumping anyway.
How old is he
now? I don't know. I ain't gonna give me the line. But I'm just saying he been doing his thing though for a minute.
Yeah.
And but like I gave him a shout out when we was doing the episode last week. But when I posted the video, I tagged him in it. And so he just said, man, he appreciated the love. So, man, we love you, bro. Man, our homies Titan, G-Dub, MK, Man, appreciate all the comments. Y'all keep doing y'all music. We love what y'all doing.
And also shout out to C Michael too with that.
Oh
too,
yeah, man. That's the bro.
Yeah. C Michael with that, man. I did want to plug in. They have a podcast called Not the Same Podcast. I think it's C Michael and Rob Redeemed. They do a podcast, and I think they are on podcast platforms and also YouTube. Not the Same Podcast. So shout out to C Michael.
Man, that's the bro.
Yeah.
Like I remember I wasn't in his wedding, but I was at his wedding.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Years ago. So that's the fam.
That's dope. Yeah, man, we talk often, man. He's a dope, very solid brother, man. And
for sure.
Not football. Well, he is a football fan, but also basketball.
Oh yeah, he's definitely basketball.
Yeah,
fan.
he basketball, Grizzlies and stuff all the way. So salute to my homie, C Michael, man.
And shout out to our big bro. You know, one of my mentors, Jeremy. Hit the like Sanders.
Jay Sanders.
He said his middle name is Hit the Like. So shout out to J Mac, Jeremy, Hit the Like Sanders.
Yes, sir.
Man, appreciate that encouragement.
Yeah.
Big homie, OG. Mr. Drysdale, you know, you had to watch the Beverly Hillbillies to get that reference. But man, you talk about the nigga from the hood that's running the bank for real,
man,
and they didn't know it though.
Jay Sanders,
you know what I'm saying? They see him suited and booted and didn't know he got more tests than everybody.
Oh, he do,
man. No, and be represent, man. He gonna represent though.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like he got it up here.
Yeah,
and he was the first person I saw when I was like a kid, man, and he was like older, but he was from the hood, but like he was smart though.
Yeah.
And he wasn't scared to show how intelligent he was.
Yeah.
And when people would try to comfort him, man, he'd be hitting them with them facts, but like wouldn't nobody check him though, cause like he was real. He was a real cat. Yeah. But at the same time, like, man, he was like a young Malcolm X to me. You know what I'm saying? And so you know, from that moment, like I just, you know, kind of latched on to him, and then, you know, his brother after that. But then like when he came back, you know, after he got out of college and everything, like he just kind of took me under his wing, and like he's somebody who will, man, call me and tell me my shit stink if need be. You know what I'm saying? Or if I need to call and be like, hey, I need some advice, or like he gonna give me that real. So man, shout out to the big homie, big bro, man, mentor, man.
Jay Sanders, that's my guy, man. He's very solid dude, man. OG. Triple OG, but man, he's still young. He looked like he's still like 35.
Yeah, no, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, he can pass.
Man, got a baby face, man. He ain't got no hair or nothing like that. I don't know. Yeah. I ain't never seen no stubbles on his face or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Has he shaved before? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Man, if he ever grow a beard, it's over with. I'm like, what? When you do that?
Yeah, man. But yeah, he's a great big bro, man, and you know, brother in the Lord too, man. Just a real solid dude all the way around. Solid is an understatement, you know what I'm saying? So, and that whole Sanders family, actually, Amory.
Yeah. Shout out to Amory Sanders,
Amory Sanders, man.
Southwest Salukis.
Yeah, they got into the, I think it's called the NJCAA. I guess is the JUCO College Basketball National Championship tournament. Mm-hmm. And he got him there. And I think he's, like, as of now, quote unquote, the interim coach.
Right.
For Southwest Community College. But I mean,
man,
clearly,
one of the guys on the team, shout out my big homie, Coach E.
Okay.
Ernie Prude, his son plays for Southwest.
Okay.
One of the league leaders in junior college for 3-point percentage. Like this, hey, his son, man, got a gun. Young K Prude. Man. Bird gang, like, man, hey.
Shooting that thing like Will?
Man.
Like Will almost?
And what's crazy is, like, I remember, like, you know, like when he would have him around, like when we would be doing camps and stuff like that, he'd be coming up, you know, he was always a shooter. He's like, man, he's a rag, I'm telling you. My son, he's like, I be shooting that thing. He's like, I'm gonna have my boy right though. And like, man, I see, like, he post clips and like, hey, he wasn't lying.
He hitting that thing.
He wasn't lying, man. He got his son right. They got, man, Bird gang.
Ooh, and that was good. I know
South Memphis in the building.
I know Amory can he can relate because he had that gun too in college.
Oh yeah. I want to say he was top 3.
He led
in his 3-point percentage.
He's
definitely in the top 3.
I think he led the NCAA. SEMO. I think they went to the NCAA tournament. I think maybe his junior or senior year.
No, it was his senior year.
Was senior? Yeah. So he.
Oh yeah, no, he was man. Yeah, he
Bartlett High School. I think they went to the state. I think that year when
they should have retired his jersey if they hadn't.
Right. Yeah. Ain't no
because he had put them on the map.
Yeah. So salute to them, all them people that we talked about there. The Sanders, the whole Sanders family.
Clan, man.
Corey Sanders, y'all know. I think he be watching sometimes too. Salute to Corey Sanders out there in Homestead, Florida, doing this thing out there with ministry, basketball, AAU, got all that stuff going on. So, actually, I think I had on. I don't know if I had it on before. He had the risk taker.
Yeah,
the hoodie.
Yeah.
That's Corey Sanders,
which I still hadn't gotten yet, by the way. But it's all good.
He loafing, but salute to this whole Sanders clan, man, for real. Salute to the whole. So, all right. So, episode 26. This is not the rundown. This is the actual
episode 26.
This is episode 26. Want to get into talking about black fathers, Rag. Like, there's never a correct time to do this. This is April, but
right.
You know what I'm saying? We relevant no matter what. No matter if it's, Father's Day, I think is in June.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? And this is relevant because what we talked about in the rundown. Dante Wright was a father.
He was, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Has a small child.
Yeah.
Does not have. No, I don't even know if they were that old. Maybe close to 2. You know what I'm saying? But like small child, father gone. You know what I'm saying? Like George Floyd was a father.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's good that, you had got cats like Steven Jackson stepped in, Godfather to the child and everything.
Yeah.
Shout out to Captain Jack. Shout out to Kyrie for buying his folks a house and everything out there. Like we talked about Philando Castile. When he was murdered, like I want to say his kid was in the car.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like, we see the negative side of when bad things happen. We also see the side of, and so this is not a woman bashing thing because, and I'll say from my own experience, like, and I've said this before, like my dad, his dad was not around. It was my grandma. It was my great grandma. You know what I'm saying? Strong black women.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they did not teach my dad how to be a man.
Right.
The reason why, and like I've said, I make jokes about how like can't no woman do wrong in my dad's eyes because he was raised by 2 strong black women. His oldest sibling was my aunt, strong black woman. Like his aunt, strong black women. So it's not a woman bashing thing. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom's mom, strong black woman. My mom's dad, who just passed, 2 weeks ago, wasn't really a factor. You know what I'm saying? So I know from my own family, strong black women. My mom is a strong black woman. All my aunts, strong black women. So this is not a woman bashing thing. But you can attest to this because like, and this is a crazy thing. Like I was sitting up today in my personal meditation time and I was just being thankful, man. And so I opened up one of my old Bibles and in the Bible was an obituary of our boy, you know what I'm saying, Percy. And it was in the Bible. I used to always take to church at the time. So, and I'm looking at the obituary and I'm getting, you know what I'm saying, emotional because I'm looking at the back and then his son just turned 18. Martavius and that's crazy. I'm like, dang, like 18, yeah. And so it's crazy because when P had passed, I want to say he was like
11 or 12, wasn't he?
Nah, about 11 or 12, right?
Yeah.
But Percy, man, good father to his son.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at him getting emotional. So I look at the picture of my dad I got sitting on my bookshelf. And I'm thinking about Martavius like losing, his dad. And then I'm thinking about you. So like you popped in my mind. I was like, man, I said, you know what? And so cause I got emotional thinking like, man, I don't know if I'll ever be able to, do what Martavius is doing, not having his dad. And then I thought about you and I'm like, man, you know what? Like, man, you a strong dude to be able to do that. And your dad was a strong dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Solid dude. You would not be the man you are today without Prentice Brown.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, took your brothers, Rodney and Tom, like, you wouldn't know that they wasn't biologically his sons. And you can't tell nobody, like, if you look at them, they look like him.
Right. Yeah.
And he didn't talk about them like they wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Even like I knew some of your uncles, like, they didn't talk about them like, oh, well, they my brother's son. No, they like, oh, that's my nephew. You know what I'm saying? Man, strong dudes.
That's the crazy part, because honestly, I think me and my sister talked about this. Maybe we was older, you know, about to graduate high school. We was like, you know, some people have that conversation with, you know, because me and my sister, we, you know, we had the same mom and dad and stuff, but my folks never sat us down and had a conversation and made a distinction of these are, you know, you don't have the same, you know, daddy, something, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, we literally didn't know, like, because he didn't treat us any different and always, you know, articulated everything as us. It wasn't never, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, that was something different. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, usually I think most people now think the responsible thing to do is sit down, or you just obviously know that that's not you. We got different daddies or something. You know what I'm saying? So, but that never was a conversation, because his thing was, y'all mine, you know, period. So it's no distinction between Rodney, Tommy, Zarina, and Jamal. So, yeah, salute to that, man. We were talking last week off camera. You know what I'm saying? I was brought to tears just thinking about, you know, some of the, you know, just the life lessons and stuff that I learned, you know, from him and stuff like that, man. So it's like, for me personally, this whole Black father thing, man, for us both personally, it's a huge deal, because we're products of that.
Right. And then we're Black fathers ourselves.
Exactly. Yep.
You know, and so like, and you know my dad.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you, like, man, if I post a picture of my dad, like, it's going to be so many people commenting, man, tell Mr. Reg I said what up, man, Mr. Reg. Man, I remember I used to see him in the hallway, man. I knew I had to get to class because he was going to jack me up, pull me to the side. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he was, you know, and I ain't going to lie, it was a time when I was a kid growing up where, like, I get mad, like, man, why you always... But I didn't understand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For somebody who didn't have that, how important it was, because you know what? You my son's homeboy, or you my son's friend, or you play with my kids. So you know what? Because you in my community, it's my job to say something to you or to step in, or if you get put out the class to talk to the teacher. Man, it's people who he got kept from get kicked out of school, he got back on a basketball team or a football team. You know what I'm saying? Got him a lookout from a college coach, because he knew somebody from way back when he played, and he made some phone calls and he got him a workout. You know, and I mean, they didn't go on to play professional, but they got to go to college, and you know what I'm saying? And so it's important because, and this is why I said it's not a women bashing thing, but man, we praise KD for getting his mom, because, and they always play that's a freaking meme and a gift. Right. You the real MVP.
You the MVP.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. And it ain't nothing right. Like, she deserves to be applauded.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like LeBron's mom. Like, okay, look, you was a young mother. You deserve to be applauded. You know, and I mean, we can go down the list, but what I don't like is that anytime, and so now mom could be at the game, like going ridiculous, going ham, clowning, fighting the referees or fighting other people in the stands and everything. Like, everybody like, oh yeah, that's his mom recognized. But then you got a LeVar Ball. Yeah. You doing too much. It ain't about you. Right. Sit down.
Selfish.
But I mean, look at the fact, like, man, he had a plan and he spoke it into existence.
Yeah. A literal plan. Like, shout out to people that I've heard, a couple athletes, Ocho Cinco being one of them. His thought process of when he's finding a mate to make children with is, are you athletic? I think Ocho was like, I think on the I Am Athlete podcast, like, did you play sports? Let me see the tape. You know what I'm saying? Like, because his goal is to make more, I guess, super athletes. You know what I'm saying? And LeVar Ball was the same way.
Right.
His thing was, I think Tina Ball was a volleyball player at USC, UCLA, one of them. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to those, you know, the act, like, this is not even a plan. Okay, we make a baby. Let's put them in something. No, it's like, from the point of me hollering at you and trying to date you, I got a plan going on. Follow my vision, Tina. You know what I'm saying? And so,
I mean, but again, and that's a whole nother episode, the power of your words and stuff like that. And then a whole nother one in planning and all of that. But like, man, he spoke it into existence.
He did.
And people was telling him, you're crazy.
Yeah.
This is not going to happen.
3 sons.
You know what I'm saying? 3 sons in the NBA, but 2 of them got drafted was lottery picks.
Top 3.
You know what I'm saying? It's like nobody ever had, I want to say, 2 sons to go in top 5.
No. Yeah, I think they were
the
first
ones,
like
let alone top 3.
Yeah.
You know, we had to actually go back and look to see if it was more lotteries or whatever, but it ain't common.
Yeah, not brothers.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, and even like if you in the league, people say these people are trash, but look, if you're in the league, you can play.
Yeah,
you know, and this is going off topic, but like I just watched a video where Brian Scalabrine, aka the White Mamba,
right,
got a show where he basically calls out people who think that they can beat professional athletes. And so one video he posted is this guy, he's getting some college lookouts and everything, and he's a ranked high school player and everything. Like, he didn't get a bucket. And keep in mind, like, Scal is in his mid to late 40s.
Right.
He ain't played in 10 years.
Even when
in a professional league.
He was on the back end
bench,
of the bench.
Right. He had a lot of injuries and stuff. I mean, but he was skilled, but it's just,
right.
Man, this dude couldn't get a bucket. And he didn't just bag him down. Like, this man taking him off the dribbles, doing fadeaways, like drop steps, winning his bag, like real White Mamba mode, right? But on his show, the 3 guys he played was like all guys who played, like one guy played overseas, another guy played like division. He was on the Division 1 team. I think he played for UConn or Syracuse, one of them. Okay. The other guy was like a D2 guy. But these are all guys who played on a high level.
Right.
Still young and athletic, in his bag. So this idea that, this nigga slaw, like if they're on that level.
Yeah.
But I said that to say, like, you got Steph Curry, you got Seth Curry. Now, I can't beat Seth. If I get out there with Seth, like I'm gonna get done just like Scal did, dude. Like the only thing I'm getting on there is a good foul. I promise you that. Please believe that.
I'm a hack you.
Oh man, please believe you can put money on that. You better not. I hope you care about your career because it's going down.
And he light skinned too. So I
don't believe he can whoop me. I'm just saying. So
he ain't gonna like that. He ain't gonna like that.
So I mean, when you look at the brother, you got Dominique Wilkins.
Yeah.
You got Gerald. Now again, Gerald was a baller. But and you might have talked about him if it wasn't for Dominique.
Yeah.
Larry Bird had a brother who didn't make it to the league. As a matter of fact, Sean Kemp got a story when he was a rookie that said, like, Larry Bird talked about him breaking all his records in high school. Oh, you the one who dunked on my brother, and gave him that work.
I think he had a triple-double that game. 40, 11, and 12 or something like that.
So the fact that you see the disparity in the siblings throughout the NBA is rare. And I don't know that we've had, so even with the Lopez twins, like, and they're twins.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But Brooke, the one been getting the buckets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so you got somebody who prophesied, who spoke it into existence. We was talking off camera and I made a joke. LeVar was in the wrong field. LeVar could have been a preacher. He could have been Reverend Ball. You need to believe in my Jesus. Never lost.
Never
The
lost.
only one who got me is the Lord. He came to my house. I served him pancakes. I mean, for real, like he's in the wrong, but all jokes aside, like he spoke it into existence. The words have power, but they all talk about how important it was having a dad, and it's not just them. I can't remember the other. It's another guy that's in the league now. He's like a forward or center or something like that, but he played with them at Chino Hills. But it's other kids that he's gotten into the league.
Right. He got drafted by.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Right. Like other kids he's been there for other people. You know what I'm saying? And why is it that we don't talk about him the way we talk about KD's mom being a real MVP? Why don't we talk about Mr. Jordan, Michael Jordan's dad? That was something so serious. He had to lead a game.
Yeah.
And you saw every time them first 3 championships, every time he was celebrating the post game, who was there? Mr. Jordan right there with him.
Pops. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, And on the flip side, let's look at, and again, I just want to talk about the way the world works. What do they call Archie Manning and the Manning? Oh, that's football royalty. Mm-hmm. You got Archie Manning and we know Cooper, and Cooper didn't even make it. He played one season in college. Right. He had to stop because he got hurt.
Yeah, he was the most athletic.
And it's the crazy thing. His son is the one they talking about now, Arch Manning. That they talking about he gonna be like the top quarterback whenever he goes to college or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, but that's football royalty because of Archie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? John Elway did. Oh, John Elway dad called and said, you know, that he's not, my son is not playing for y'all because y'all are a historically bad team. Nobody bats an eye. LeVar Ball says, no, I don't want my son to play for this, and you're doing too much. You just need to let the boys play. Don't say anything. Why you're making it about you? Right. But you didn't say that to John Elway's dad.
Because it's a different bravado. Just like with black people kind of get stamped for being us or being how we are, how we speak. Right. But then on the other side, they monetize it. You know what I'm saying? But they get paid off of how we interact and how we talk and do all this stuff. Like, LeVar is not those people that you name, like Archie. He's not, you know what I'm saying? We just
what's Andrew Luck dad name?
No idea.
But he was another one though.
Yeah, because
he was one of the dudes when the XFL came back. He was one of the guys in power with the XFL when they came back. Okay. I can't think of his first name, but his Luck. But he was another one. Mm-hmm. Oh, my son, this, that, and everything. But nobody says nothing. Like you said, they get paid off of.
Right. And so that's the point of it. Like, even when, to me, black fathers, they get the props, but it's well after their career. It's well after it's in a documentary. We talked about the Joe Jackson. You know what I'm saying? When you think about the Jacksons and the Jackson 5, Joe Jackson, you don't think about, you know, him instilling stuff, putting the instruments in their hands and doing all that. You thinking of them beatings Michael took under them tables. You know what I'm saying? Trying to give feed the mice some cheese. You know what I'm saying?
I just remember. You remember Nick at Night?
Yeah.
You remember Welcome Back, Carter? Come on, Welcome Back. And so you sneak and be watching Nick at Night. Yeah. And I just was like, ain't that what's his name? Leroy or Lenny Boom Boom Washington from Welcome Back, Carter? Like, that was the dude, like the show, like the black dude. I'm like, okay. John Travolta. John Travolta was on there. And I'm like, he was on that show. And then Cooley High, like with the general from Different World, like he was in that movie. Like, that's all I was thinking when I saw the movie. But
me too.
Like you said, we think about the ass whooping. We don't think about the instruments, or the discipline, or you made your whole family multimillionaires,
right? Or led your family, or just like we said, he had a vision. Just like LeVar, he had a vision. I think he was a musician, a fair musician, and had that, or whatever happened. You know what I'm saying? But he had a family, had all them kids, had to provide and do all this stuff. And so he had a vision for his family. He made it plain out there and went ahead and did it. You know what I'm saying?
But we're not excusing abuse of the family. We're not.
No. I'm not saying that it was right to beat them and do all this stuff, but we're highlighting the positives and how black fathers don't, I believe, get enough credit as much as, you know, as they should. You know what I'm saying? Earl Woods.
Tiger Woods' dad.
Yes. But the thing is, now he's gone. Like, I don't know if you've seen on HBO Max the documentary with Tiger Woods. You know, they big up his dad then, but his dad is not here anymore.
Tiger dead like 20 years.
Yeah. Tiger is on the back end of his career. You know what I'm saying? So it was, I mean, truth be told, like, I don't think he ever got, you know, the full credit in the spotlight. But if you look at the documentary now, you're like, okay, wow, he was dog minute, you know what I'm saying, how he raised Tiger. But I mean,
but this is the thing though, they make it as if they talk about Tiger as if he's just this child prodigy, like almost like he Jesus or something, like he was just born immaculately, right. And he just he came out, you know what I'm saying, his mom's with JJ with a golf club in his hand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he moved the placenta out the way with the golf club swing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the way they talk about him. Not like his dad had him on the golf course at 2 years old.
2 years old.
These courses that I got to caddy on, and people make racial jokes at me and make fun of me. And I believe he's a retired veteran.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's like I
think
done
it was
fought
in
for this
Vietnam.
country,
Yep.
but y'all making these racial jokes about me and everything. Man, my son gonna come in here and it won't be no golf course that you won't be able to go into. I got to carry the bags, but they gonna be trying to carry your bags. Don't talk about that.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And those lessons that was taught to him, the discipline that was instilled in. Because honestly, I believe that had Earl lived, some of this stuff that Tiger got caught up in,
for sure,
possibly wouldn't have happened.
For sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Let's talk about your boy, Richard Williams. And that's your, you can speak on that. That's your sport.
Like Richard Williams, we know with Venus and Serena, for one, this hits home for me because around the time Venus and Serena were coming up, when we first heard win of them, it was like 95, 96. This is the time me and Serena, you know, we playing tennis, like we really getting into it. You know what I'm saying? So we hear about these two young black girls in Cali out there in Compton, you know, doing their thing. And so the first thing that you hear about with Richard Williams is they're really criticizing him. They like, because this is the lane in tennis, especially during that time, was you go through the junior circuit, you play these tournaments, you go semi-pro, you go national, then you can, you know, go pro. But he was like, no, they didn't play junior tournaments. They practiced out there in them courts, did them little drills or whatever. It was like he refused to let them play in the junior tournaments. And so I think the big story that was out about Richard Williams, it was like he's ruining these girls' careers. You know what I'm saying? He putting them in, you know what I'm saying? This is an untraditional way to go. You know what I'm saying? They're going to mess these girls up. They're super talented, but this is not how it's supposed to go. And then what happened? Took the world by storm. I think Venus was the first one to win it back in 96 or 97, won the US Open. Then Serena just basically took it from there. But Richard Williams, I'm trying to think. I don't think he ever was given credit or beloved, you know what I'm saying? Just because, like, he was out there taking pictures and stuff, but they never really been like, okay, give Richard Williams his flowers, because he the one, for one, again, all the people we name, Richard Williams is another one. He had vision. He knew what he wanted to do. He had a plan. And he went ahead and did it. He didn't look at people criticism or thought, okay, this is a non-traditional route. He looked at what he wanted to do and what he wanted to instill in his girls. And with any strong black father, what do you see within that? If you believe in your kid, they're going to do whatever you tell them to do because they believe in you. You know what I'm saying? So right. Richard Williams was a godsend for the sport of tennis, period, to show that you can go an untraditional route and still make it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And you talking about untraditional. And so this is somebody, now we don't hear about this guy. Mm-hmm. And I remember, and I had to look him up because I couldn't remember his name. But, you know, USC, that's my college football. I mean, I love University of Memphis football, but you know, man, I go back, man. Keyshawn Johnson, man, Junior Seau, Rodney Peete, Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, Lindell White, Dwayne Jarrett, Mike Witt. Like, hey, I mess with USC. So this is a name people don't remember. Todd Marinovich. Todd Marinovich was a former quarterback for USC. Yeah. He was drafted to the Raiders and played in Canadian Football League, but what made him so known was it said that his father had been a lineman and played for USC. And so when he was a kid, of course, it said Marv studied training methods on weight and bulk. And so he developed his own athletic research and he applied his techniques to his young son, introducing athletic training before Marinovich could even leave the crib, and continued it through his childhood and adolescence. So he used techniques focusing on speed and flexibility, and later formed the basis for modern core training. Mm-hmm. During his wife's pregnancy, she wasn't allowed to eat salt, sugar, alcohol, or tobacco. As a baby, they fed Todd on fresh vegetables, fruits, and raw milk. Raw milk. And he also gave him like amino acids and stuff. Like he was doing things like that wasn't traditional.
Right.
But the way that he had done, and then they had an article in the California magazine saying robo quarterback, the making of the perfect athlete. And so his nickname actually was Robo Quarterback. And Sports Illustrated had an article called Bred to be a Superstar. And they called him America's first test tube athlete.
Didn't he have a 30 for 30?
Yeah, they had, I want to say if not a 30 for 30, he was a subject of some documentary. But he said in the article he had never eaten a Big Mac or an Oreo or a Ding Dong. He said when he went to birthday parties as a kid, he would take his own cake and ice cream to avoid sugar and refined white flour. He would eat homemade ketchup prepared with honey. He did consume beef, not the kind injected with hormones. He only ate unprocessed dairy products. He teed on frozen kidney and liver. When he was a month old, it said his dad was already working on his son's physical conditioning. He stretched his hamstrings. Push-ups were next. Marv invented a game in which Todd would try to lift a medicine ball onto a kitchen counter. He also put him on a balance beam. So now,
that's wild. Wow.
And then he said there was a football in Todd's crib from day one. Then his dad said, "Oh, not a real NFL ball," says Marv. "That would be sick. It was a stuffed ball." So now, finally, it is said long after his career, they named his father as one of history's worst sports fathers. But at the time, when the article was written, he was being praised for that. The making of the perfect athlete. But all that he was doing, it said that that led to his son's drug use in high school. Which and that's ultimately what messed him up in the NFL and everything like that. So and I brought that article up, and again, I ain't disparaging, Marv Marinovich or Ty Marinovich, but I'm just saying, when you look at something like that, at the time, he was not torn down in the media. And again, this man is in all types of magazines. In Sports Illustrated, like that's the biggest sports magazine out.
Right. And that was all that stuff that you named was untraditional.
Right. And that's untraditional.
Especially during that time.
You're not allowing your wife to eat any. Do you know how hard it is to eat nothing with salt?
Right.
But again, this is the way you raise up an athlete. Yeah. And again, when it's Archie Manning, or I don't remember John Elway's dad, but for all intents and purposes, Mr. Elway, Andrew Luck's dad, Marv Marinovich, who was Todd Marinovich's dad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't get clowned the way they clown LeVar. The way, Richard. Like you said, Richard. You're ruining.
Yeah.
It's like Tiger just came out with the golf club by himself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, they give props to when you talk about Mike Tyson, what they talk about Cus D'Amato, who was he took him in. His Cus D'Amato helped Mike Tyson, but he just adopted him.
Right.
You give those guys props, but then when you get like you said, Richard Williams, you got to tear him down. You got to tear Earl down. You got to tear LeVar down. You don't tear Mr. Jordan down. He's a good, hard working man. Or you just go work a regular job and don't say, because Mr. Jordan never said nothing in interviews. Yeah. Stay in your place, boy. Yeah. Be quiet. Yeah. But, James Harden and his mom. Good job, James Harden, mom. Yeah, that's what we want. Yeah. It's a single black woman teaching a black man how to be a man.
Basically putting out there in the forefront that not only, like I said, this is not a knock on black moms
because it takes a lot of strength to raise a kid by yourself.
It does. But it seems just the media, it doesn't completely ignore the black father, but it raises up.
How often they give Dale Curry props for Steph? I mean, they mention it. His dad played in the NBA.
Yeah. Like I said, he is on this scale, but then the moms are just elevated to a sense to where you believe that they're trying to put a narrative out there that
only in our community.
You know what I mean? Exactly.
Only in our community.
Right. And so that's the issue. That's the problem. It's not that the women deserve credit. The women, you know what I'm saying, they raise them. They do a lot of stuff that the men don't want or don't do. But when you put the actual what black fathers do, what they instill into their children, into their seed, is like it's not giving credit, or if it's giving credit, it's long gone. You know what I'm saying? They're not on TV every day. They're not doing this or that, or it's on a 30 for 30 20 years later.
Yeah. And you like look at Shaq. Shaq talk about his stepdad. He call him Sarge.
Yep, Sarge.
But Shaq says he would not be who he was without Sarge.
Right.
But they don't talk about, hey, man, and he was a military guy.
Yep. Yep.
And man, and every time Shaq go with a story of how he grew up, man, Sarge had me in there, man. I was trying to finger roll like Dr. J and all that. He said, man, he called timeout, man. He says, he punched me in the chest. Yeah. Man, you don't need to be Dr. J. You should kill.
Yeah.
He said, I got mad at him. He said, I went back in after that timeout. He said, I tried to tear the rim off. And he said, he's like, okay, I see you. Yeah. You know, like, but that made him, you know what I'm saying? He thanks his dad all the time.
Right.
I didn't even know that it wasn't his biological dad. He had to actually say, had to actually say that.
Me either. I thought it was his biological too.
You know what I'm saying? But watch his Hall of Fame speech.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He talk about Sarge.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like John Thompson, people talk about him as a coach.
Right.
But they don't talk about how his son, John Thompson III, took that legacy on. Because he had his dad, John Thompson II, teaching him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and we, like you said, man, we don't get that. And so we're here. So, man, Prentice Brown, your dad, man, Roche O'Regan first, my dad. Like, we gave a shout out to the Sanders family.
Yeah.
All three of them.
Black
Jeremy
fathers,
Sanders, Corey Sanders, Amory Sanders, black fathers. Like I gave a shout out to my boy whose son played for Southwest, Ernie Prude.
Yeah.
And then, man, check it out. Coach E wasn't just, when I posted on Facebook, my student that had gotten killed, like that was one of the kids that Coach E worked with. So he wasn't just a father to his own kids. He was a father to the kids in South Memphis. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, like one of them guys, like, man, hey, you can call him. He pulling up. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, and it hurt me with my students because, man, like, I couldn't tell you how many times, man, for them years they was at the school, I was they ride to and from school. If I ain't drop them off, like, they ain't have a way home. You know what I'm saying? They playing with me when I'm coaching. You know, they playing on my team. They want to play ball, but if I don't pick them up or drop them off, they don't got to wait till the game.
Yeah.
And man, do you know how crazy it is when I've had some daddies who ain't been around and say, hey, Coach Rag, man, I just want to say thank you for everything you're doing with my son. Man, this was years ago, dude. It was a girl I used to date. You would know. I'll tell you off camera. But this was years ago. But she had moved back to Memphis some years ago. And I actually got a chance to meet her children's father. And man came up to me, shook my hand. Like, this is awkward. And he just said, man, Roche, I want to tell you, man, I appreciate everything that you've done for my girls, being there for them. And then, so keep this in mind, because she had just moved back. You know what I'm saying? I helped her move and everything. Like, we wasn't even talking no more.
Yeah.
But we were still cool. I met her baby daddy's daddy. He came up to me and was like, oh, you Roche? Like, heck, you hear about me? And he was like, man, I just want, man, you know what? I just want to say, man, you're a good man. You're a good. And how important that was for me to hear. And keep in mind, I don't need, you know, my dad, I don't need no validation. I ain't never needed no validation from another black man, a coach, teacher. Like, I got my validation. Man, Roche Ragland was the only validation I needed.
For sure.
But to hear somebody who don't know me say, man, I appreciate you. And for another black father who actually raised his son the right way, so he had no reason to not do right. Yeah. But to say, man, hey, you doing what, man, more dudes need to do what you're doing. And we just need to get that love. We need to stop this BS, this bullshit when women be posting, "Oh, happy Father's Day to me."
Bruh.
You cannot. What's my Wesley Snipes quote from White Men Can't Jump? You can stick a cat in the oven. That don't make it a biscuit. You can't. Just like if I was like my daughter and hey, you know what? I ain't got no beat. Like you'll never hear me say nothing negative about my daughter's mom ever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But if she wasn't there, I could not teach my daughter how to be the woman.
Yeah.
No matter how much I told her, okay, you got to do this, and I've had women conversations, with my daughter, but I can't teach her more than my mama or more than her mama. That's a slap in the face of them. To think, for me to have the audacity to think, you don't need them. I'll teach you how to walk and do this and be you're a strong black. I'll teach you. I can't do that.
Right. Yeah.
So think about the arrogance that it takes for somebody to say, I can teach you to be something that I'm not.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't like, that's the cliche thing in our community. I think I see a lot of Facebook posts and social media posts on Father's Day to where, women be like, well, I'm playing both sides. And so you can give me happy Father's Day too. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, and it's acceptable. You know what I'm saying? Because if it was flipped, you know what I'm saying? If we was on Mother's Day, kind of saying the same thing, you know what I'm saying? It would be a totally different feel. And
right. You get clowned for it.
And just the culture that we live in.
The crazy thing though, I don't never see Asian women doing that. I don't never see white women doing that.
Right. True.
I don't never see Indian women. When I say Indian, I mean Native American. I don't never see Native American women doing it. And I got a lot of friends on Facebook.
Right.
And sometimes I be looking at friends of a friend just to see what other people be posting just because I'm curious to see what's out there. I don't never see it. It's only in our community. And it's only acceptable in our community.
But that's exactly what we're talking about. That's publicized too. That's what's publicized in the media. You know what I'm saying? It's publicized as in let's not completely ignore the fathers, but let's big up the moms.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's big up the moms, even, you know what I'm saying? And not really track.
It's passive aggressive.
Yeah.
So it's almost like if we both on the team, right? We both average the same amount of points, same amount of rebounds, we both got different fun. Like we couldn't win without both of us, but the coach come and say, "Good job, Roche. We couldn't do it without you, Roche. We need you, Roche. Roche, you the man. You make it. If it ain't for you, Roche, we don't win." So how do you feel when you hear that? Because he didn't say you didn't do good, JB, but what you're indirectly saying, because you're constantly throwing the accolades on me, you're indirectly saying, and you feel invalidated. You feel like my contribution is not important. So what you're hearing is, oh, well, it really don't matter what I'm doing. Like JB ain't that important.
Yeah.
Like it don't matter if I win, lose, or draw. Like
And so, and that's, and really, even with Steph Curry, like he, if you listen to him, he always big up his dad as far as being in the position that he's in, growing up, seeing how pros go, how they talk, how they walk, you know what I'm saying? The professionalism, you know what I'm saying? But given Steph mom is fine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So she's the one.
Good job, Dale.
Yeah, good job, Dale. So she's the main one on the camera.
We're not going to give an award for this, but if we did, y'all know that award.
Man.
And you saw the meme or the picture I put up for that award. For the lick the side of the face.
I saw
one
that.
with Mystical.
With Mystical.
Yeah. Oh, she get the side of the face lick award.
Ooh.
But you know what's a trip though? I'm glad you said that. So check this out. He always give his pops props, and they don't never highlight that though, right? They always, check this out. They always talked about how Kobe was with his daughter, right? But how come they don't never talk about LeBron with his son? Not in the same way that they talked about Kobe with his daughter, because you know what? You got a black man raising a black man.
Right. Yeah, that's real.
And it's the crazy thing. And so to all of our black people watching this. We both know some black women who are married to white men. We both know some white men who are married to black women. I just want y'all to hear this from me. Just keep this in mind. They do not see your spouse or your children as people. They see us as property, which is why we get disrespected and treated any kind of way. Think about it. What that song and Miss Jackson say? This is my house. I disconnect the cable and turn the lights out. This your chair. You can put your feet in it.
Yeah.
You can stretch back and like if you spill it, like check this out. You could spill some drink on your couch yourself and it ain't no big deal. But if I spill it, it's gonna be an issue. You're gonna be like, hey, bro, you need to calm down. Why? Because this is your couch. This is your chair, right? Yeah. It's your property. And so when you feel like something is yours, you treat it the way you want to treat it. Mm-hmm. That's why we get treated the way by society. I'm not saying by individuals, by society, because we're still viewed as property. And so we have to teach our kids, number one, a self of importance, a self of pride, strength. But then we also got to have them be aware, like, this is what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, my daughter doesn't live with me, but if she did, and it was me right now, and I'm not, ooh, I hope she don't watch this. She's talented in something.
Yeah.
What that is, I don't know.
Yeah.
But she's talented in something.
Yeah.
Right? But if she blew up and made it success, like, no matter how much I had to do with it, I wouldn't have nothing to do with it.
Yeah. So
now if she go and record an album or something like that, please believe. But I ain't gonna get no props for that. They'll be talking about like, oh, how talented you're. Like, they ain't gonna study all it now. Now, if I was Jay-Z or something, maybe, but
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm more like Ro Jackson.
But that you're the MC, you're the one that, you know what I'm saying, you're creative, you're an artist, you're the one that
if your kids play tennis.
Right.
Cause you did that.
Right. Oh, they gonna do that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
yep.
And I promise you, and no disrespect to Mrs. Brown, to Sister Rachel. But they'll have her at the matches clapping and screaming. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure she's watched it with you. You know what I'm saying? A couple times. But, you know, like, if not for that, like, would she even know how to keep the score and everything like that?
I don't think she'd know how to keep the score.
You see what I'm saying? But she would be, and again, no disrespect to Sister Brown.
Yeah.
But they would be showing her, you know, anticipating the next serve or whatever.
Right.
You want to, another one. And, you know, like, sometimes I have a love-hate relationship, but I'll never give Russell Westbrook dead props.
I think he passed, right? I think he
recently. It had to be recently.
Some years ago. I think
not Westbrook.
Oh, my bad, Westbrook. Okay.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook.
Okay, I'm thinking Wilson.
Yeah, okay. Westbrook. Yeah, you know, because they used they used to show his dad all the time.
True. Okay.
When he was playing, like they would show his dad.
Yeah.
In the stands.
Okay. Yeah.
And they would show his mom and his dad, and they'll be you know, showing both of them, but like a lot of times they would pan over to the mom or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they wouldn't show and his dad's name is Russell Westbrook, actually.
Okay, he a junior. Probably Russell Westbrook is a junior or second or third, probably something like that, I guess. And just because we're talking about this, y'all, like, if you haven't noticed, like... Oh,
so no, his dad is the second. He's Russell Westbrook the third.
Okay, he's the third.
Yeah, he's Russell Westbrook the third.
But just look at this stuff now. When you look at stuff in the public now, look at it in the public eye and how stuff is treated. And we're not talking about your outliers like Black History Month or, you know, when it's close to Father's Day and then stuff, you know, seems to go around, you know, these people are Black fathers and stuff. But we're talking on a regular basis in general, 10 months out the year, not your 12 months, you know what I'm saying? Not your 2 months that you may have on Black History Month or in June, the second or third week of June, you got Father's Day. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're talking about just overall, when you look at this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Everything is a narrative. Most things have an agenda. You know what I'm saying? And you really have to look at it as what they're trying to push. You know what I'm saying? It's not a coincidence that, you know what I'm saying, a lot of homes in our communities don't have, you know what I'm saying, or you know, have, you know, fathers are not even, you know, put in it. Like I said, you don't even have to live in your child's personal house to be involved in their life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and you can attest to that. You know what I'm saying? You're involved in Charity's life, but you don't, like you said, you don't live in that home, but you're just as involved and concerned and care about her. And you know, you shape a lot of, you know what I'm saying, how she thinks. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, we have to look at certain things of that nature and see that, you know, when people aren't trying to, when they have that agenda, you always need to ask the question, like, why is that? You know what I'm saying? It must be something powerful about us that makes them not want to give us the full credit that we need.
I mean, and you know what? And I hate to say it. Have you ever watched the show Black AF?
No.
Okay, so have you ever seen Blackish? And
Yeah.
Okay, well, the dude who wrote that, he has a show. It's kind of like The Office almost. How they kind of like doing a documentary, but
Network
then they're
TV?
showing it's on Netflix.
Okay.
But the guy who wrote Black AF and Grownish and Blackish and Mixedish and all of them, it's like kind of like following him. You know, it's like almost like a reality type show. But and it's based on his life. But and I sleep sometimes. I feel like, you know, that's the
I seen a couple. I know. Yeah. I just looked it up.
I feel like if I was about 15 years old, that's me. But so like with him, it's a thing on there where his daughter was joking, and she wasn't joking, but she was like, "Oh, you get my dad started, he gonna say everything go back to slavery." Like, and so that's where I was going with that. Like, it goes back to that time. You had to tear down the image of to the dad, the father in the black community. Why? Because that makes the women subservient and reliant on not a white individual. But when I say the white men, I mean white society, the people, the infrastructure, the master. You know what I'm saying? And how did they do that? They would quarter us, which is when you tie all of our limbs up to a horse, and they have 4 different horses, and they shoot a gun or snap a whip, and all the horses run. And you know, when them horses run, all their strength, that's what, like cars have horsepower.
Yeah,
they run, and and so imagine your kids seeing you get ripped, your arms getting ripped off, your legs getting ripped off, and you bleeding out. That was one way. The other thing they would do is they would whip you like how in Roots Kunta Kinte.
Yeah.
Then they would hang you, set you on fire, cut your dick off, and put it in your mouth. So now again, imagine your kids seeing you with your junk in your mouth, set on fire, hanging from a tree, swinging. The third thing they would do that was really prevalent was called buck breaking. Now, if you familiar with horses, like the way you do that is you just kind of ride the horse until it submits. Well, buck breaking is you get a man will bend you over and rape you. So now again, imagine your children seeing another man, and check this out. In the animal culture, the only time like you might see like wolves or something, when they do it, it's not sexual, strictly for humiliation. So now when the alpha wolf does that to another wolf, like no matter what happens to the alpha wolf, none of the other wolves will respect you because you just got humiliated. You got beat in combat, and then he will humiliate you in front of everybody by doing that. And what that does is that everybody else in the pack now has no respect for you because you just got humiliated. That was an act of humiliation. So now I'm not talking about homosexuality or anything like that's not where I'm going. But what it is when you take somebody who's not a homosexual and you bend them over in front of everybody, not just in the private back room, all the slaves are watching this and you get the strongest, biggest one. And I ain't gonna call no names out because some of our friends watch this podcast. But imagine us seeing our boy, and you know our boy, all I'm gonna say is baby boy. Imagine us seeing him getting in, you know our guy, he yoked up. Like, imagine us seeing him get, what we gonna do?
Yeah.
Cause this nigga bench pressing a car. Like, what we gonna, if they doing it to him,
right?
What they gonna do to me? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so that goes back to that time. If you keep us down, then now you can keep everybody else in place. Mm-hmm. And it's not about them necessarily fearing that, oh, they're gonna take us over. You don't want us to be equal. Because if we're equal, we can get to a place where we can have our own stuff. We don't necessarily need you. Like we talked about last week. Fear the Black Planet. Oh, update. So WrestleMania happened. Bobby Lashley actually did keep the title. I was tripping about that.
Okay.
He didn't lose. Like, I just knew, like, they finna make him lose it.
Okay.
So we finna see they pull. You remember we talked about them pulling the swerve. They pulled the swerve.
They did. Okay.
We finna see what happened.
Okay.
We finna see what happened.
So they still disconnected?
No, the group is disconnected.
Okay.
They didn't bring the group back together. Because again, like, it's only one way you can spin it. Like, you got three of the best. You got to get them the titles.
Right.
So you got to break them up.
For sure.
Because you can't have everybody having the titles.
Mm-hmm.
But he did retain.
Okay.
So we going to stay posted with that on other we going to keep you posted.
Update.
But again, you break down the strongest person.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're always subservient to you. We always need you. We always come in with our hands out instead of coming to the barbecue. We bring in the baked beans or the potato salad or the coleslaw or the buns, or we always just come in with we ain't even bringing the plates and the drinks.
Right.
Like, that's the low style. Like, somebody bringing the drinks, like, you know what I'm saying? You bring the ice, like, that's the low style. Yeah. I bring the silverware, the napkins. Yeah. That's the low style. But like, we've been coming to the barbecue with an empty stomach. They don't want us to come. Oh, well, don't worry about the ribs. We got that. Cause now we're in the position we can say who get the ribs. You see what I'm saying? Right. Like, if you already know you bring ribs to a barbecue, y'all can get this, but this coming back to the house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want us in that position. And so,
that's real, man.
Man, look, shout out to the Black fathers, man.
Yes. Yeah, salute, man. Like, the Black fathers, like, you know what I'm saying? If nobody else gives you props, two Black fathers right here give you that salute right now. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully y'all play this again on Father's Day. You know what I'm saying? We're not, we doing what we do. You know
and if you had a strong Black father, whether it was your biological father, whether it was your stepdad, whether it was an uncle, a big brother, granddaddy, somebody who stepped in and filled that role, man, give them a shout out in the comment. Get them their flowers while they're here, if they still here. And even if they gone, like, give us their flowers now so we can rejoice with you, even though they gone on.
For sure. And so for me personally, this hits home just because, like, my dad transitioned, July,
it's been almost closing on a year.
Closing on a year. You know what I'm saying? So it's been about 9 to 10 months. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate even more, you know what I'm saying, all the things that he instilled in me. And, you know what I'm saying? Don't take it for granted. Like you said, if you have that father figure, your father in your life now, like, you know what I'm saying? Don't take that for granted. You know what I'm saying? Go holler at him. You know what I'm saying? Let's go have a little small talks because you will cherish that, you know what I'm saying, at a later time, man. So until next time, y'all continue with that executive mindset.
And most definitely keep it presidential. Arrivederci.
Salute.
Bow.